It is European Open Grand Finals time. Shogun here, joined by Johnny, and we are ready to jump on into this. Now, Johnny, I don't know what we were expecting from Endpoint, but we saw a little glimpse of what Relating Wave was going to bring to us when we went over to EGX a couple of weeks ago. But this is something entirely different as they look to take on the challenge of BDS.
Oh, I've just got to say, I'm so impressed by Endpoint. I'm so impressed by every single player on this team. Metsonoris, one of the OGs who's sticking around, and he looks better than ever today. What a player he is, just historically, but also currently. This is the real test now. Endpoint have never won a grand final. Last season or this season being the first, of course. BDS have won plenty.
There we go. Win 2 best of 7s. That's what you got to do if you want to be European Open champions. Here is Monkey Moon. Can't quite turn that shot on target as Metsonoris does take over, and it'll be his veteran hand that will look to guide his team through the inevitably tricky waters that will be reached in this finals. As there's Seiko. Can't turn it in. Monkey Moon again on the ball. Looks to try and press forward. Low boost. Doesn't matter. Nobody knows about that just yet. It's going to drop down. Mark doesn't quite want to challenge it. For me, we talked about Relating Wave just a moment ago, but it's his challenge game. Him and Metza need to be on top of the challenges because that's usually where BDS start their dominance over most teams, and it just gets worse from there on out.
Yeah, keep an eye on Relating Wave. You know, we talked about him in the pre-show. He is such a great positional player, and that is something that really shone through, helped them get that win over Carmine Corp. But you need to even more now. You've got 3 players in BDS who are not afraid to just go completely all in. What a play there by Monkey Moon, but who's there to get the clear? Relating Wave, perfect position once again.
He's got it in as well. Cross
my goodness!
Metsonoris opens the account.
That is why Relating Wave is such a dangerous player. What an interception though by Metsonoris. BDS not holding back. That's an infield pass to their third man. Metsonoris read it, beat the player to the punch, and even puts the long shot on target when really just any clear is good enough in that position. You gotta just go get the ball safe. Metsonoris getting a 2-for-1 there, turning BDS offense into a 1-0 lead for Endpoint.
Mets has been doing those in Season 4 against Cloud9 to send his team to the grand finals. He knows that play better than anybody. There's the drop down. What a play this is. Mark takes the first time shot. It was fake the first time, but too difficult. And Mark by 8 gets the goal back.
Yeah, Seiko with a pretty tough position here. He's lined himself up very straight in the shadow, so difficult to get a lot of side on the ball. I reckon, you know, he's probably just going to try and pop the ball into his crossbar there. Much easier to do that. Of course, if you do hit the ball into your bar, you're going to need a teammate to follow up and beat a BDS player to a rebound. Yeah, he thought he could knock it into the corner. Didn't turn out to be the case. Marked by 8, of course, known for his heavy hits, and gets an equalizer pretty quickly there for BDS.
Both teams setting down at least somewhere to start for themselves. Monkey Moon yet again. Doing a very good job of just carrying the ball across the field today. Extra sets himself up. Pass far side, and somehow that one has been read. Option was there to take the first time shot. Endpoint, though, more than ready for it.
Yeah, Endpoint covering the infield passes very well. They scored from a BDS infield pass with their only goal this game. Metsonoris it was, and now Seiko as well, getting a great interception on another BDS infield pass. So expect to see BDS switch it up here. They don't want to keep going infield if the interceptions are consistently coming in from Endpoint.
Race, as Seiko is going to win that one. Relating Wave to himself, 2 players to get past. He's done a decent job, though. Just anything that isn't into the back of your net is usually quite good from that position. It's just under 2 minutes left now. Extra, he wants to turn for it. He's got good possession. Metsonoris, though, very typical from him. Just a couple of steps ahead, knows exactly what his opponent is after, and actually might go hunting for Monkey Moon instead. Off the backboard, that's awkward. Off the backboard one more time. There goes Relating Wave. Not able to shoot from that angle. He just found himself too close to the shot. A little bit of danger shown.
Yeah, right idea there from Endpoint, playing keep away, but they need to, at some point, send a shot towards the goal, or there's no real point of, you know, that continued offensive play. But yeah, like I said, Relating Wave didn't get the touch that he wanted. Metza now landing downfield. Knock on into the middle. It's a double commit from BDS, but they will recover quickly, so they should be fine to continue and defend in this play. Extra expertly. Clears the ball past 1. Still work to be done, and that's a great touch by Monkey Moon, killing so much time and limiting Seiko's options with the follow-up pass.
As good as Monkey Moon has been throughout this entire tournament, he's also had a couple of own goals in him, but clearly not affected whatsoever. There's the pre-jump! As it was right to Monkey Moon. Fantastic idea. And I feel almost bad for complaining about execution on a play like that, but they just needed more on the shot.
Yeah, it's the shooting that's letting Endpoint down at the moment. They've had quite a few chances to take shots uncontested. Mark's going the best done. Relating Wave with a save. Another key touch in defense from Relating Wave.
They need help, though. 2 players have gone. Seiko is also downfield. Meta wants to go across the map yet again. Somehow we're still at 1 each. BDS, though, finding their rhythm. Monkey Moon called off, but his teammate that he wanted to pass it to is already gone. There's Mark by 8 on the respawn. Another pre-jump. Well, we were wondering whether or not BDS were going to maybe intimidate Endpoint in this match, if those pre-jumps are any sort of indication. That's not going to be the case. Off the backboard, shot, Relating Wave is going to keep that one out. Just going to see if the ball hits the floor, if we're going to see one more goal. Triple commit. Who's the first one to it? Metznaris, perfect recovery from him. He got onto the backboard, puts the ball down. Overtime for game number 1.
BDS really playing some tricky shots here. Monkey Moon there shooting low underneath the pre-jump. We saw Marked by 8 hitting the ball past the pre-jumping Seiko as well. These pre-jumps for Endpoint definitely wayward at the moment. They might want to just calm down, stay grounded, wait for BDS to make a move before committing that heavily. That being said, they've made it into overtime, and we've made it past the kickoff as well, so we're right back into midfield play. Relating Wave offloads to Metza, intercepted by Monkey Moon. Marked by 8 decides to go himself this time. He had Monkey Moon as an option. Reset, not the hardest one, but it's enough as Monkey Moon's cleared the net for Mark. The BDS take game 1. Monkey Moon available for the pass, not needed, still making himself useful.
Yeah, wiping out the other defender, no option left. And Endpoint, despite a very, very good fight, have lost game number 1. But for BDS, I mean, they've been here plenty. They're comfortable. They're not like Seiko. They've not, got themselves into their first tournament, first grand finals. This is just another tournament for them a lot of the times. So very, very difficult. And I'm hoping, though, we get more of this from Endpoint. They did not look scared at all by BDS.
No, they definitely took the game to them, and they're continuing to make great reads. They're, intercepting the infield passes. We're seeing brilliant positioning in defense again from Relating Wave in particular. But they do need to start hitting their shots with higher accuracy, or else BDS will continue to take games. Endpoint had chances here, didn't take them. BDS look more threatening when they attack, and they've already realized that Endpoint are committing heavily to interceptions. We didn't see, the infield pass being utilized to too great of a degree there by BDS at the end of the game. And that was the main source of Endpoint's counter-attacking play. So it's up to Endpoint now to start to counter the next thing BDS are going to try, which looks to be solo plays. We saw there from Mark, not afraid of the air dribble. Seiko was trying to scare them away from doing that earlier by pre-jumping before the takeoffs even happened. But it's tough. If you do pre-jump before the touch, BDS are just going to do something different. They don't just have one style of offense. They can do it all.
Yeah, that is the most difficult part about BDS, is that they are probably the most adaptive team that we have got in the entire region. They start off with just a normal play style, and then suddenly the download comes in. They look at the files and they realize, oh, hey, this is what we're going to do moving forward. And it gets even more difficult when you are taking them on and you have got to win at minimum 8 games to take this team out of the tournament.
Yeah,
I was usually going to say here that it's easier said than done, but even saying it sounds incredibly difficult.
It does. Yeah, just beat BDS twice, but I think it's crucial to get a couple of early games. We said it earlier, when BDS get a foothold in a series, it's even harder to imagine them losing that. And, even if you do come back against them, they can still have the Game 5, Game 7 iced, as we saw in the Swiss stage. Mark's already put one past Endpoint here, and I reckon, that should have had somebody making a touch on it, to be honest. I think it was just a bit of an awkward choice there from Relating Wave. Rare to see him out of position in defense, but it has happened, and BDS already in front.
Yes. Now, for anyone that did join us last season, you might have a little bit of an alarm bell going off already, because there was fantastic teams that took BDS on that, on form on the day. They'd already taken out 2 of the top that the region had to offer. And yeah, Johnny, we got kind of just used to BDS 4-0s. That's just really how it was. So Endpoint, it's not alarm bells time just yet, but you want to start getting this going nice and quickly because BDS have a tendency of just going away with it.
Yeah, BDS, they've already identified the main threat that Endpoint were posing, those big interceptions. And now they're just not going for really risky passes. They're decided to dial it back a little bit, play more of a solo play style. Interceptions not going to come into play then. What a pass that is. No, that's the safe one. Marked by 8, shoots into the top corner from a fair distance. 123 kilometers an hour. What a shot by Mark.
We could stack 12 Seikos on top of each other and in front of each other. They still weren't reaching that. 2-0. And BDS are showing what they are made of. And they might get another one here off the backboard. Follow up by Mark isn't quite quick enough, so he's not going to get a hat trick just yet. Good thing for him, he's got 3.5 minutes to try and get that extra goal. Nice play by Metzer, looking to go solo. And I think those are the position. We're going to start getting really picky, where Seiko's going to need to start looking for the player instead of trying to go for a ridiculous play.
I love the little recovery there from Extra. Tiny jump into the wave dash to stay right behind the ball. Very safe positioning the entire time if he is challenged. He's got a good hitbox to block it. That's a good touch by Metz. That should have been struck by Seiko, who's missed his touch. They're being forced to move early here, and they're being punished every time that they make a mistake. 3-0, Monkey Moon easily slots in a shot from distance. Relating wave loses control. But it was before that, Seiko just going a bit faster than he's comfortable with. On the rebound, not making contact.
Yeah, Endpoint, I feel for me, need to just use the field a little bit more. There seems to be a very clear definition of offense and defense for them. In that position, don't pop the ball to your opponents. That's going to be off the backboard. And there's the shooting accuracy that has been plaguing Endpoint.
Yeah, 2-1. One off the post. Post and then goalkeeper. Straight to the side of the goal and then straight towards the goalkeeper. You compare that to the shooting we're seeing from a player like Mark, who just consistently hits the top shelf every single time with power. That's the difference at the moment, or at least one of them.
Over to Extra, who will just clear the lines. You would already see everybody on the blue side of the field pretty much gathered on the halfway line. And that's another pass. Good thing that the block came in afterwards. If Endpoint are going to mount a comeback in this second game, they're going to have to start doing it very quickly. Time getting away from them. Another demo. Pass off to Monkey Moon. Instantly stopped. There's the follow attempt. Faked that one. Extra's by himself. Looks to go over the top.
Oh, man.
And here's Relating Wave. Maybe going to have something from this. Metz is far too close. They've not really got another shooting option here.
It's just crazy. You get a really good 1v2 play there from Seiko. Free shot. And then Extra just saves it, pops it over the net. As if to say, what are you thinking? You really think you're going to score on me? You really think you're going to score on BDS? You think we're going to let you back into this game? You need to shoot perfectly against these guys. They're putting up a stance against every single attack that Endpoint and all their opponents today have thrown at them. Despite having such a high defensive line, BDS doing it their own way and doing it better than anyone else in the region.
Last game was 2-1, correct, Johnny?
I believe so, yes.
So, I mean, the only goal that we have seen has been the one time BDS just haven't had anyone back.
Yeah,
going across the field. This might be a little bit better. They could maybe be taking some of that advice. Yeah, maybe just keep demoing until nobody's left. 1 minute left here. Very much looking like game 2 has gone over to BDS and in very dominant fashion.
And this just shows the level that BDS are at. This is why they were the team to beat for all of last season, and nobody was able to consistently beat them. They had, bad days here or there where they'd drop, one series or two series. And then, of course, no more so than the championships where they lost to Vitality twice. But throughout the entire season, despite Vitality winning the championships, I don't think anyone would argue that BDS's accomplishments were the greater of the two teams. Such a dominant team, still in this season, continuing to dominate. And that's when the rest of the region has seemingly stepped up, and other teams who were formerly top 6, Guild, last year's team Queso, now Giants, Vitality, SK Gaming finished, I think, 7th in the spring split. These teams are not even making it into the top 8. Meanwhile, BDS are still on top. It's just crazy to see the consistency from this lineup.
Oh, can we at least get one in? 2.
There we go.
Has at least got his second for the series. It felt like that one had to go in. Good play to at least set it up.
Winnable.
Letting Wave and
Winnable.
Metz. Yeah, no.
Look at that.
All right, Johnny. Here's where the kickoff strats come in.
It has to be. They've got to try and demo the kickoff here. That's the only way to get a good chance on that. Are they going to go for it? No, they're going to play standard. Well, you know, still half a chance, but...
Go on, Metza. Go on, Metza.
Yeah,
Okay.
if the ball floats, if it goes up in the air at all, 4 seconds might as well be 0. It's just not going to work. So I think Endpoint need to go back to the drawing board there with the kickoff strat if they're going to give themselves a 2-goal comeback. But even if they do come up with something spicy, BDS are probably just going to grind the ball in the next one anyway. So they're not going to feel too bad about it.
We've just heard that is going to be timeout from Endpoint. I completely agree with this. This is already starting to look like BDS have figured this one out.
Yeah.
Just get this one burnt. Talk to each other. We already saw Endpoint make great use earlier on.
Oh my!
What's this we're looking at?
They playing some
musical demonstration.
A bit of musical chairs, it seems. No, I'm not liking this. I'll switch seats. I think Metza is just trying to stretch off a little bit, release some of that tension.
You know what? I like it. I absolutely like it. Just come back, just refreshed a little bit. Even if it's tough, no matter what it is, just change something.
It's tough. You know, they've just come out of a very, very hard-fought semi-final with Carmine Corp going all the way to Game 7. A lot of energy, emotional and physical, has gone into that. And now they're just being battered mentally by BDS, because even coming into this, you're thinking to yourself that it's an impossible task to beat them twice. And then in the first series, you're already losing 2 games to 0. And outside of a few big interceptions and a few clutch goal line saves in Game 1, nothing's worked for you. The shots have been all over the place, and BDS have been making their plays. They're just doing their thing, and they don't seem to have a weakness right now. BDS, nothing to say. They're just going to do what they do best. And I think in the minds of everyone watching, win this series without any difficulty. I just don't see how Endpoint come back from here.
Well, Endpoint stretching the arms, BDS stretching their lead so far in this series. And we did speak to Extra. I know, shocker that. We tend to speak to Extra an awful lot on these broadcasts. But he was saying that the reason why they felt so uncomfortable against Vitality is that sort of pressure they just weren't used to.
Yeah.
They thought Vitality had a little bit more experience at those sort of situations. But if we are talking experience and we're talking online tournament grand finals, this is the most experienced team in the world right now in BDS. It's a big ask for Endpoint. We're looking towards the coach. We're looking towards Metza to really be the voices here to figure some things out, because it's very easy to start shelling up when things are going this wrong for you.
Yeah, they've got a couple of options. You know, Endpoint aren't a one playstyle team either. They used to be. In the fall split last season, it was very much the demo-focused playstyle. Virtuoso running Riot, Metza and Relating Wave trying to hold it down, often in a 2v3 in defense. Now with Seiko on the roster, it's a much more balanced team, and that does give them versatility. But they need to act, and they need to act fast. And, you know, really, more so than changing the strategy, I think they just got to execute on their shots. They really just have to hit their shots to a higher standard. That's, for me, the biggest difference between BDS and Endpoint.
Yeah, right now you'll just see the confidence difference, but a couple of goals going your way, which Endpoint, you know, we're not saying they've not got any chances of scoring. They've got opportunities like this. Okay, that's a bit better. And that's also absolutely deflating for Endpoint. They finally got it absolutely perfect. And BDS, no sweat whatsoever. Just stop it.
Yeah, great read there by Mark. He predicted where the shot was headed and timed his interception to perfection. Lovely little fake challenge there by Seiko. Baits the clear and turns in a place that he can get back and guide it into the corner. Endpoint have looked pretty comfortable in this kind of spot, actually. You know, it's not really a position BDS are going to try and force, especially with how many passes just proved to be too risky for BDS in those spots. They haven't gone back to those risky passes from the corner since Game 1.
For me, BDS are finding a lot of success, mostly on just leaving a player behind the midfield line. Just Endpoint haven't quite been able to figure that out just yet. Monkey Moon puts the ball over to safety, and then Mark Baye, of course, fakes somebody in your final third. Nice pass back over to Metza. And at least boost secured for now, so a lot of work now for Seiko to do. Going to try and do exactly that. Relating Wave up in support. It now comes in.
Whoa!
And, well,
my.
Relating Wave, you're not allowed to take a shot, because I'm going to make sure that the one I send on net is just bad enough and my teammate can save it.
Yeah, some back pass. You always want to hit your back passes hard enough that the attacking team can't catch up to it. So great trust there. Oh, Metsna with the reaction. That was on target from a pinch in the midfield. Ball is absolutely flying about right now between players. Endpoint have reacted well to it. That's a double commit from BDS. Mark alone in defense. And again, Mark defends well for BDS in game 3.
Metza and Seiko, who's got it? That's something that BDS got to try and figure out, and they just stand their ground. Let the ball come over to them, pass over to Mark. These midfield passing plays have just been so good from BDS. They're getting so much pressure from it, even when they don't score. One player gone, and that's a player that just picked up 100 boost as well, which Endpoint now have no access to. Monkey Moon can't find the block. Doesn't matter. Here comes Mark. Shot directly into Metza. And once again, Seiko, he's been finding himself in these spots an awful lot, but he's the one tasked with dribbling the ball outside the field. And he's doing a good job in this game.
A very even game 3. Huge chance for Endpoint to get a foothold in this set, even if 2-0 is too much to come back from. But here's Seiko with the air dribble. Looked like BDS were waiting to see if he's going to go for the reset on it. Extra didn't want to commit early. Seiko with the last heavy touch, puts it past him. Endpoint lead, and there's only less than 2 minutes left, Shogun. Very quiet game up until there.
And it's something that we saw Seiko going for over and over again in terms of figuring out that he has got the time to do it from his own side of the field. Now Monkey Moon, 1-on-1 against Seiko. Seiko still holds his ground. And he holds on to the 1-0 lead that he gave the team. Now flip reset, goes to the side. I was wondering how he would react to this sort of pressure. He's doing incredibly well. Metza safe hands over on the back line. And now with the booming clear, Metza well read. Endpoint, well, we don't know what was said during that tactical break, but it's one of the better ones that we've seen used.
Well, it looks like Seiko has been told to go for it. Just trust himself, and he absolutely should with mechanical ability like this. Just take it to the other team. Ignore the nameplates. BDS who? You know, get your solo play. I'd love to see more of that from Seiko, but with the final minute, all Endpoint need to do is keep people behind the ball, at least force BDS to take a risk. That is the risk from Endpoint, though. Double commit and not the fastest recoveries either. Monkey Moon looking for the quick transition. He's got Mark in the middle. Flicks it towards him. A really big flick, though. That's going to go too high. Endpoint do get a bit lucky on that one.
I think Seiko's trying to go for a new record on flip resets in one game. He is constantly going for it. In a situation like this, it's very good just to slow down. Monkey Moon realizing he's got a bit of time. Not the first touch he was after. Just couldn't really set himself up for any way to beat the defense. Relating Wave wins all 3 on the challenge. I mean, I've kind of got used to seeing from that recently. Metza almost adding to his tally. It's an awkward bounce though. Relating Wave. Over to him. Over pass. Can he get the goal? It drops down awkwardly.
Oh,
2 players used for this. Metza also jumps in a Relating Wave. Why have you done that? You've passed the ball over to Mark by 8. Relating Wave dives in. At least stops the flames from burning any brighter.
Okay.
And it will drop down. Endpoint have got their first game.
Endpoint, you needing to do it the hard way. I don't know why they're double committing on half chances when they've already got a 1-0 lead against BDS. They were really asking to go to overtime here, especially with the earlier chance for Monkey Moon when he had Mark waiting in the middle. And, you know, definitely a lot of solo playability from his own position as well. But Endpoint got away with that. When it's a tie game, that's the kind of aggression that I want to see from Endpoint, where they're willing to just go for these half chances, because they've been few and far between against BDS. But, wow. Maybe not at 1-0. Maybe just take the 1-0 lead and hold on to it.
Okay, I'm going to become, like, first things first, Endpoint, this is better. Even if they went and lost this one, this was an improved performance by leaps and bounds compared to what we got in game number 2 from them. I have one fear that I was spotting throughout that game, which is Metza is very deep, and BDS know it. BDS were looking for him, and he did a fantastic job avoiding demos whenever he could. But if a double commit comes through, or even a lost challenge, and Metza is wiped off, there's nothing to stop BDS from taking the other side of the field. So a lot of this, if they're going to let Seiko have this sort of freedom, now relies on a player like Metza to have eyes in the back of his head and know when BDS are trying to attack him.
Yeah, they've got to defend as a unit against BDS. Here's Seiko. He's got Extra alone, and Extra able to hold him back. Great save by Extra right after a kickoff, completely isolated. Seiko's still looking confident in offense. He's, you know, had a couple of really good plays in game 3 there. Hard shots, not holding back at all. Really just trusting himself to hit the target. Oh, that's actually just open for Monkey Moon. Where's the defense? Endpoint down by 1 already. Monkey Moon saw the gap and takes it.
Oh, the boost just wasn't there. Metza wanted it. And Extra had already wiped it away from him on his way through. And there is that aggression from BDS. They do not feel like they need to just rush everybody back. Instead, they know the midfield control that they've got. They take away the resources. And Metza was the one to feel the pinch from it. Seiko. Oh, he might have a shot to try and even this up. Metza already on his way through. And Mark just a little bit too quick.
Yeah, first Extra now. Monkey Moon putting up huge saves for BDS. And Mark was there as close to the play as possible so that he's ready to capitalize on the next ball. Great defense from BDS. But, you know, before that, I think Seiko just overestimated the recovery of Metsunora slightly. Didn't realize he was the last man in the play. It's a small mistake. Huge consequences. BDS have looked great when they're ahead in this matchup. Endpoint have to take risks now. They have to hit the target. They've got to test BDS again and again. Already BDS have put up a couple of good saves. Well, let's see what Endpoint can do.
Oh, that's just straight in as well. What a block.
Never mind. Let's not see what Endpoint can do.
You tried there, Johnny. If you wonder why out there Johnny's not always the most positive, this is why. He just doesn't want your team.
I don't want to tell you guys dreams. I'm trying to keep it realistic here, but I don't know. I felt like that was a moment where Endpoint could do something. It didn't look that dangerous. Turns out it was incredibly dangerous. A wide open net and a 50-50 on target. Speaking of which, the post to the rescue for BDS. That was not a safe kickoff strat from them. But it looks like they're going to get a goal. Yeah, no catching that. Endpoint have left their net open 1 too many times. In fact, 3 too many times. And you can't do that against anybody. Never mind BDS.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a desperate leap from Seiko. It is obviously a position where you have to have your decision-making just 100% on point, and being 2 goals down, Seiko clearly wanting to try and get something back nice and quick. Unfortunately, his team is, well, very much stuck in the mud in terms of the position that they find themselves for this game. They have to make a comeback. Goals are needed. They're needed quick, and almost an opportunity to get one. I will give him this, though. Seiko does not lack commitment.
No, it really looks to me, especially considering that game 3 right after the timeout, where we saw Seiko really going for it with the solo plays, and now this game as well, he's committing whenever he can. And again, Seiko is relating wave actually this time. You know, taking a leaf out of Seiko's book, just quick as possible. Not quick enough to get the shot on target. Same thing for Metza, but here's Seiko. Top corner saved by Mark. What defense from BDS in this game. Endpoint have had real chances to score, but BDS are just covered in the whole net. And Endpoint, bet they wish it was a little bit bigger with how well BDS have defended it.
Blatant wave. Looks to try and fake out one. It's towards the corner, so it's more difficult to really create a chance. That's looking to keep the pressure on, but Blatant wave realizes no middle boost to grab hold of. Has to go all the way back.
Wow. Look at Wave, though. That was a fake stealing challenge, and Mark by 8, he fell for it because he struck the ball immediately there, thinking Relating Wave was about to dive in. Just really shows the little nuances, these small things, these movements that Relating Wave's making to force plays out of his opponents. Obviously, overall, in the bigger picture of this game, they're in a lot of trouble, but they're still making good plays here and there. Oh, Mark's shooting, though. You cannot let Mark shoot. It is a simple rule in high-level Rocket League, and his Relating Wave has tried to pass the ball off to Metza there. Hasn't found his teammate. He's only found Mark, who hits the bottom corner with such consistency.
It's going to be a new part of the tutorial, Johnny. You come in, here's the accelerate button, here's the brake button, here's the boost button. Also, do not give the ball over to Mark by 8.
Yeah, don't let Mark shoot.
It's a little warning to everybody coming into Rocket League. Might try and add yet another one to this. Metza, good on the block. 4-0. Looks like the only real good news here for Endpoint is that they've kind of bought themselves another timeout that they can work with. This is very, very one-sided, at least in scoreline. Still feel like the idea that Endpoint have got is correct, but this is just what happens when it goes wrong. Monkey, I haven't kept up with his own goal count throughout this tournament. It's been a little bit higher than I'm used to.
Well, BDS have been phenomenal in defense this game. So many huge saves. And, you know, when they're getting these top corner diving saves, where they're being forced to pre-jump, they're not only getting saves, they're also clearing the ball with their saving touch. There's no follow-up shot available for Endpoint. They pretty much get one try every single attack, and that's it. They've got to hit that goal on the first try. And that'll wear you down. You know, most of the time you're used to seeing bad saves, bad touches in defense if you just hit the ball hard at a goalkeeper. Not BDS. They're playing these touches to perfection. And this has overall been just a stunning defensive performance from BDS. You'd think it was the other way around, leading 4-0, but really it's the defense that's been brilliant, in my opinion, in this game.
Yeah, BDS really have not had to pick apart the defense at all this time around. Monkey Moon, good challenge. Be happy that the pinch isn't even towards his no net. As extra frustrating for Endpoint. Just take the ball to his own side of the field. Wind down the clock even more. As Endpoint staring down 3 points for BDS to take this first set.
Oh, winnable?
At least a consolation. No more
Winnable?
kickoff strategies from you.
This is technically winnable, though. You can't deny that. I mean, Endpoint haven't really...
What is the most ridiculous comment? I remember the RLCPL, like, a Wasteland game where Pashy scored like 3 in 4 seconds.
Yeah, you've had 3 in 6 seconds before, but I think the first goal went in with 6 seconds remaining, and then the next 2 following. So, you know, a 3-goal comeback is probably more, but...
Yeah, I mean, in the time we argued that, the time ran out.
Yeah, try to give some hope to the Endpoint fans, because really, it must feel pretty hopeless watching this matchup. BDS putting up ridiculous saves. Their shooting has been immaculate, and they've just got that aura of invincibility around them to begin with. So what do you do when you're up against this team? It's just something else. But I do think Endpoint had an idea with that timeout. They've just told Seiko to, you know, go for it. I imagine really, that's what they want to do with this new mechanical player. We heard it from Relating Wave yesterday in the post-match interview after their quarterfinal win over Misfits. He said they're just trying to bring the most out of this mechanical wonder kid, and if they're going to do that, Metza and Relating Wave have to prioritize fast recoveries. They can't leave an open net ever, because they've, you know, Seiko's just going to go, and they've, you know, clearly told him just to go. That's what he's going to do. That you're going to need to play a little bit more defensively focused, or at least recovery focused, with your other 2 players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still don't think the idea is wrong, to be honest. There is just games like this one where you drop 2 goals and suddenly you find yourself 4 goals down. It does happen, especially when, you know, Endpoint got quite as panicky as they did do, and they were just jumping in the 3rd player every single time to leave the open net. So I still don't think the idea is wrong, but the big news for Endpoint is that they've got to win 3 in a row. As we are going to start off the backboard, and any chance you had of the rebound has instantly gone because the player decided to land on it. Now we've got the air pinch. All right, well, BDS look comfortable. Oh, and they're bumping into each other. Queso playbook over here.
I mean, even after the aerial pinch there from Monkey and Extra, hold on a second, Seiko with a huge play.
Oh!
It's just off target, and the nightmare bounce for Endpoint. It's hit the target almost, and actually bounced to safety. So
I don't know how that didn't hit Extra. I was certain Extra was just going to accidentally put that into his own net because it would bounce into him. It was the worst possible bounce, but that isn't.
What a shot.
Relating Wave smashes it off the bumper of the car. And if Endpoint are going to get this first set back, they need to do it off shots like this.
Yeah, what a read. Phenomenal position by Relating Wave. You could see his teammate forcing the touch out of Monkey Moon there, and he realized there's only one place Monkey Moon can hit this if he's gonna outplay the challenge. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be first on the scene, and I'm gonna put everything into this shot, no holding back. Just absolutely send it on target. Anything less than a boomer to a corner is probably not going past BDS's goalkeeping at the moment.
Look, I'm just happy that Endpoint have got away from first shot always being backboard. They kind of fell into a rhythm of that throughout this tournament, and they got away with it up until BDS were here. And then you realize, oh, if we don't take this first shot properly, everyone's back. And now we've got to beat all 3 BDS players on the goal line, which is just not happening. As you can see, BDS now not willing to give Seiko the same sort of space as he had earlier on, immediately trying to challenge him. Mark fakes out going on the wall. Another pinch play. To midfield, Metza ends up whiffing. Relating Wave ends up whiffing.
It's Extra. He's just so cheeky with the little wiggles there as he's running back to his net, pretending to turn again and again. A bit of a double commit there for BDS. Extra could have been middle for the pass. Monkey Moon is going to get there. So, you know, BDS definitely really just trying to be as unpredictable as possible in this game. We've seen a few team pinches. We've seen them take the ball off each other. But are they maybe going a bit too far with that? Should they try and give each other more space, perhaps?
Monkey Moon right over to Relating Wave mid-air. Metza and Relating Wave. Well, they've already seen the team pinches earlier on from BDS. They want a couple of their own. Quite able to get that one. Half volley, though, from Relating Wave. Those ones always should have power. And I think that one probably should have had a little bit more on it. Monkey Moon very happy to take control of that one initially. And that has given pressure now to BDS. Metza finds a gap. Difficult to create from this position, but Metza, he's the one with the experience. He knows how to. Seiko to himself. This is what they want from him. Just keep taking players out, but unfortunately, Mark Bay just hiding over in the goal. That second goal not coming easily to Endpoint just yet.
There's some really good defense by Endpoint in the back corners here. Making sure to block every shot that they can, but also just put up a strong hitbox on the ball so that you're not going to have BDS roll right through you. BDS trying to crush them with the 50-50s with as much momentum as possible.
Got the hit.
He's got one more on this. Oh, just misses it, but he's called it early enough. Monkeyman closes down the follow-up shot from Metza now. Relating Wave fakes the challenge and knocks the ball to the corner in the 2v1. He's not able to get the next touch though. Oh, what a pre-jump by Metza to deny that shot from point-blank range. BDS starting to come to life late in the game.
Brilliant defensive play from Endpoint. From the fake challenge from Relating Wave, the amazing goal line defense from Metza. They are absolutely desperate to hold on to this one-goal lead. Wave off the backboard. Seiko unable to quite outpace his opponent. This is a fantastic spot for Endpoint to be. As always, just keep an eye out on Endpoint's third man, because the moment BDS get an opportunity, they're going to try and hunt that player down. And
oh my goodness.
Not close at all. But what is very close is this offense. Mark by 8 can't find the block. And Endpoint, you know, they're playing with fire, Johnny, but they're doing really well with it.
Yeah, they're really just putting faith in their defense at the moment. Happy with the 1-0. And, you know, this is what we did say to them earlier on when they were able to take a game. We felt like they took too many risks late on in the game, kind of asking to go to overtime. They're not making that mistake this time.
Oh, here's Metza through the smoke screen. Monkey Moon dives on through him. These challenges from Endpoint, they're having so much more success off the backboard. Here's where the big plays come out. Oh, what a save! And it's still 1-0. Seiko will buy a bit more time. Endpoint just desperate to get rid of the ball. It's over to the midfield. Mark by 8 catches it, pops it over to the side. Seiko tasked with finishing the game off. 3-2. Endpoint are back in this, if only briefly.
Yeah, great defense there from Endpoint. Really putting up, I think, the best defensive wall that they have so far. BDS definitely just up in the ante and up in the aggression towards the end of the game, but Endpoint were able to hold on. But you know, you want to give credit. I want to give credit to BDS for that, though. They didn't panic when they're 1-0 down. They didn't immediately try and get the equalizer back. They were quite happy to just take a minute or two in the midfield, see if Endpoint are going to make any mistakes with their positioning. Then when they realize, okay, we're in the final minute, Endpoint aren't making any mistakes, let's go for this. Let's really just get everybody involved and you know, test Endpoint. And Endpoint, they hung on. I was very impressed with Relating Wave's fake challenges. The last second save there as well. We had pre-jump saves from Metza and Seiko as well. Great defensive series here, looking at the last two games.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, heart and mouth action, as it always is going to be. I feel like it's weird because we just haven't got used to seeing that from Endpoint. Usually when we see that from them, the older versions, it's like, okay, this is going to go in, you know, because switch the teams. You know, you see that from BDS, you just go, oh, fantastic BDS defense. You know, it's what they do all the time. Endpoint have seemingly got a little bit more used to not panicking in the extremely chaotic situations on their own side of the field, which is a fantastic job from them. And to be honest, as I alluded to earlier, whilst I thought the third man might potentially be a little bit of a target for BDS, no real success from there, despite attempts. And BDS have been looking for demos on the back line, yet Endpoint not only avoiding it, but making sure the third man is still effective in the play and relevant.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, just like you said, staying relevant in the plays. I think that was the main mistake In game number 4, BDS were getting too many free shots on net where there's no goalkeeper or no challenge to at least make them work for the goal. And that's the difference between the best teams. Oh, that's a stun actually. No save. I thought we were going to get a save from BDS on this one. Especially after the saves they've been putting up all series long. But Monkeyman actually diving off the wall, trying to dodge a demo. Couldn't get back to the ball. So great off-the-ball pressure by Endpoint.
That was a situation I was absolutely certain that there was going to be an infield. Just from the way that I've got used to Endpoint playing. But they have adapted well in this series. They're now starting to take first-time shots. And, you know, sometimes you can be surprised. You would not expect that from BDS, but it was a shot that went in. And that'll add a little bit more confidence over to Endpoint that they can take those sort of shots. Good bump. Just making sure that Seiko not able to continue on after the play. Goes to the wall. Monkey Moon. That's not the recovery he was after. Would have liked to have used the ceiling. Marked by 8. Only as far as Metza, who actually might have relating wave to play to. Off the backboard again. This is awkward. And nobody available for BDS to follow up.
Yeah, they're really gonna. They know they're gonna have to work for this now. BDS got a bit careless in game 5. Thought, okay, we're just gonna roll over this team. Easy win in game 4. I think they're done with this series. They're ready to go to the next one. Endpoint definitely not ready to go to the next one. They're a resilient team. These are resilient players, and we're looking at actually, as far as I'm aware, both the teams who are playing from their team houses. They're playing from their facilities, and they've both made the grand final. Definitely a good sign for those orgs to have helped their teams out and given them those opportunities. Yeah, great stuff from Endpoint. Trying to just make BDS work for everything. And BDS, that's what they're known for. We know that they're going to do that.
It's been a tournament where we started to realize very quickly on Friday just how big the stakes were with Vitality going out. And I think that's something that a lot of teams, a lot of orgs are going to realize as well, where second and third tournaments we get throughout this split are massive. As here comes Seiko, looks to try and add a second. It's off the post.
Okay.
Self-pass. Brace for Seiko.
Seiko with the accuracy here. And it's actually rare to see Extra clearing the ball down the middle. BDS have avoided this for the longest time. You know, chipping the ball into the corner, deflecting it into the corner, kind of ending the attack after one shot. But that was one instance where Endpoint are getting more than one shot out of an offensive play, and Seiko instantly takes it. Monkey actually going wide with the reset shot there. Endpoint happy to help him in that direction anyway. What about this? 2-0. Endpoint not done with this series. Even going to go all the way to game 7. This is, I think, the one point where BDS might start to question what on earth is happening.
Well, Champions Field looking very likely if we keep like this on a series that, honestly, it looked like Endpoint were done with. They really looked a little bit lost. Very early on, off the post, and post is Endpoint's best friend at the moment. Once again, maybe the most unforgiving part of Rocket League bounces straight to Endpoint.
They've done well. You know, earlier on in the series, these shots were just not good enough from Endpoint, but now they're getting closer. Inside of the post on 2 shots in a row now, and they've been able to beat BDS to the second touch as well. Let's see what Seiko's going to do with this one. He's going to score it. Because the net's been cleared out by Relating Wave. Look at this, 4-0, Endpoint running away with game 6.
Seiko, Grand Finals debut, and he's got himself a Grand Finals hat-trick. What is pressure for this Endpoint squad? And I think we've just learned something today, everyone. If the things aren't going very well, just stand up from your chair. Just relax, you know, stretch around a little bit. There is at least 1 goal back.
Okay, they got to settle down. I think this is the moment where you think, wait a minute, are we really doing this? Is this actually happening?
We're the ones that are allowed to get excited here. All right, Johnny, these guys got to relax. Even the coach, you know, he's allowed to get very, very excited. Keep your eye on the background for that. I mean, what a story this would be for Endpoint. Just to send this to game 7, let alone have a chance at winning it.
Yeah, they've got to kill some time here. And I don't mean BDS demoing Seiko. I mean Endpoint getting the ball moving around the field and letting the clock win this one for them. It's game 7 beckons. BDS, the last goal, have some momentum on their side though. Extra denied by Relating Wave. That was a reset, a shot on target though. BDS connecting well with their offensive plays.
Metza just going to take his time. Wanted to go early. Didn't realize that he could buy a little bit more by just baiting Monkey Moon in. And there's the power shot. Right across the field. And now BDS have just got to throw everything into very low percentage plays because they've got to get them to work exceptionally quickly off the backboard. Metza, oh, what a touch. Not even a chance at the follow-up. 45 seconds here, Johnny. Where do you think we were going to be here? I thought we'd already be in the break waiting for series number 2.
Okay. Are we about to see the post again?
Post endpoint.
Is it the same post every time?
It's the right one every single time.
That's the trick. You got to hit the right post, not the wrong post. But look,
when are we going to get a decal for the right post? Just
are we going to get
an Endpoint logo on it?
Shogun, is it BDS timeout? The rare BDS timeout that almost never seen. Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's pause for a second here because, you know, we're joking about winnable games earlier.
We're getting excited, Johnny. We're getting excited.
This is winnable. It is still winnable for BDS.
I'm so excited. This is not a BDS 4-0, all right? I was already excited at that point.
Again, Endpoint. They just got to slow down the game. They got to get into midfield play here. Got to play a safe kickoff. And okay, that's not a safe kickoff.
Oh, no.
They're asking for trouble.
Seiko.
Oh, they're asking for trouble.
Oh!
What? BDS, no chill. They've done it again.
Still 2 goals to get, but the kickoff game is thoroughly in the side of BDS from what we've seen. Let's have a look at what we're going to get off this one. They've
got to play just some kind of safe strategy. Okay, at least Relating Wave turned back to the net there. That's better.
The new strategy was just hit the next player as hard as you can.
They played a little bit of a safer strat there, so, you know, credits at Endpoint. Relating Wave not committed to cheating down the line while his teammate cheats up the middle on a 3-goal lead. We are going to be headed to Game 7 here. Can you believe it? Endpoint. Everybody just thinking that I thought they were going to go out in the quarters. I thought they were going to go out in the semis. I thought they were going to get beaten 2 series in a row here. But they have got a real chance to take down BDS in BDS home turf. And it is BDS timeout. Wow.
Yeah, there we are. BDS is going to utilize theirs. I mean, we've introduced this timeout rule, you know, very, very recently. That Endpoint one has got to be one of the most effective timeouts we have seen. I mean, I know they won a game and then just kind of got smashed the other one, but I feel like that one was less to do with what was said in the timeout. It just went wrong, like very, very quickly in that one, and where whatever was said in the timeout just didn't apply anymore. So now BDS are the ones that have got to get this sorted out, heading into game number 7.
Yeah, this is interesting. A lot of talk from the coach of BDS and a lot of listening from the players. So rare to see this. We never get to see BDS in dire straits. Rarely, at least, do we see BDS in dire straits. But they've lost 2 games in a row. And that second one, it should have been more ones. It was a thrashing up until BDS scored 2 kickoff goals. Then it looks a bit more respectable. But they were getting destroyed. Endpoint really just taking them to the cleaners in game 6. And yeah, BDS probably a bit lost for what to expect here, because I'm so impressed with Endpoint.
You're in a grand... Oh, how on earth can you be in a grand final just leaning back, just relaxing? All right, well, I guess I'll wake up now and jump on over to it. Seiko.
Look at Seiko, man.
Seiko does not care. He's loving it.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. It's got. I feel like the vibes in that room have just got to be fantastic right now. I mean, Metza.
Yeah.
He's just chilling. Metza loves it. Metza is just enjoying himself, and the whole team seems to just be following in that way. And I'll tell you what, when you're playing like this, when the post seems to have your back in the way that one did, why wouldn't you be enjoying it? I hope that goes the same to all of you watching at home. This has been brilliant. And a quick reminder that no matter what happens in this game, we're not done yet. We have got at least 1 more best of 7 to go. We might even have 2, but we have got ourselves all ready. The players are over in Champions Field. 5 minutes to decide who has got half the job done.
Well, let's find out. I mean, for BDS, it's all about going back to those safe defensive touches. Only give Endpoint 1 shot per attack, not the 2 shots that they're getting in that 6th game, where BDS were not clearing the ball as consistently as they were previously. Let's see if they can pull it off. Or will Endpoint be able to keep up the pressure that now they've been putting on BDS? Seiko's been unleashed. Metza and Relating Wave peaking at the right time. Game 7. Maximum pressure in the first event, and an early miss is Endpoint. And it's marked by 8 with a goal.
And it was maybe the one player didn't want to see it from. Metza, he got too comfortable, and it popped over the top of Seiko. Nothing he could do. And it's just one misplay, and the unrelenting pressure of BDS gets them the early goal.
Yeah, Seiko very far forward there. He did not make that easy for himself. Should something go wrong in the near post area,
wave.
He is in a bad spot, and he couldn't recover for that one. Just went over his head. I would have preferred to see him in the net or a bit further towards the back post, but Seiko, like we've mentioned, has been the most aggressive player on this team. Here he can redeem himself for the rebound, and he does! Seiko 1-1.
I've just got so used to this goal explosion at this point. Seiko over to Relating Wave, backboard pass. Pick that one out, Seiko. What a play. And we are up to 1 each already. Game 7, delivering in the early moments. Importantly for Endpoint, they did not let that BDS defense start to settle down on the lead. We saw what happened over in Game 5. Now off the backboard yet again, Extra. Won't have any way of following. It's Relating Wave looking for the backboard again. You can already see 3 players waiting for it, but none of them are available. And Seiko just hunting, looking for a chance to get himself a second.
Yeah, both of these teams have got a world-class disruptor in their team. It's marked by 8 for BDS, is Seiko for Endpoint. They've got to get these players forward. They've got to unleash their man who can do the most damage to the other team. Monkey Moon, Extra, Relating Wave, Metza have to play perfect defensive games here. And that's an awkward position. Metza's missed it. No infield pass option for BDS. I think there was an expectation of a follow-up there. It didn't happen. Now Seiko really doing damage to BDS. He's got them uncomfortable again. BDS handle it on this occasion.
Oh, that's a bit lazy again. BDS clearly want to pass this off, but they haven't got the players spread out enough. They haven't been able to. Metza avoids being hit. Double touch. You get the ball on the other side of the field. Now the infield, Seiko got a little bit more time. Instead, shut down almost immediately. Metza fakes out the first challenge, and that gives himself a little bit of space to work with. 3 minutes left to play. A goal either side. Playing Wave, make sure that he gets that boost, and it's so important here, Johnny, for Endpoint to make sure that they secure their back 2 boost, because BDS will grab them every chance they get.
Yeah, BDS have given so much respect to Endpoint. It's rare to see them standing off this far. They are worried about those counterattacks. They're worried about those interceptions. They know that Endpoint's positioning has punished them a couple of times where they've been caught out of position on the BDS half. Especially in that last game. Long shots bouncing in off the post again and again. But now BDS playing further back. And is that going to punish them? Metza beats him to the punch. And what a pass by Seiko as well. Endpoint leading Game 7.
And Metza, he's been forced to look at these over and over again this game. He's held off the other 2 times, but he realized that was the one that nobody was going to beat him to. Half the game left to play, and BDS, of 3 points when they had a chance to take this first set, are now down by a goal in Game 7.
No, this is just going to bring the best out of BDS, so Endpoint need to be careful. BDS now trail. They are going to stop sitting back at defense. They're going to send everything at Endpoint.
Johnny, this level of BDS, this point of Endpoint, you have to bring your best. There's nothing else that will work.
Oh!
Has got himself the brace. 2 goals up.
What a pass. Relating Wave safely behind the ball. Gets it out to the left-hand side of the field. Metza's there. And he makes sure to send the ball in with some pace. 2 minutes left. Endpoint looking for 3 straight game wins. Well, this is something we just never saw coming, Shogun. Endpoint continue to surprise us. One series after another.
BDS are the Grand Finals team. And yet, Endpoint just took a little bit of time and figured out how they wanted to deal with this. Minute and a half left now. As we already know, Endpoint have not made the last few moments of their lead especially comfortable for their fans. Will it be any different this time around? Seiko takes his time, takes even more time, and BDS hated everything that they saw. There's the extra flick. Seiko looks like he's a seasoned veteran out there.
Man's putting in work right now. BDS are not getting anything for free. They're so used to just walking up and taking the ball from their opponents because the opponents see the nameplates and they run away in fear. Endpoint are fearless. Seiko in his grand final debut, game 7 of the first series. Absolutely dominant performance, but the whole team has stepped up. They have been playing a perfect game here. They're just 45 seconds away from winning the first series. 3 games in a row. Can Metza add to their tally? Not quite as saved. And again off the bar. BDS on the counter-attack.
Now, what I love there is Seiko did turn back. He wasn't needed that time around, but he realizes this is no longer the time for him to go diving in. Off the backboard, one more opportunity. Who's around? Mark doesn't quite have the run-up that he wanted. Still tries to keep Monkey Moon in the play, and instead, over to the corner, the safest part for Endpoint to have that ball in. They've transitioned, and to me, Johnny, this looks like Endpoint might very well have this done, unless Extra can get the pass off perfectly. Monkey Moon looks for the follow, and it's right over to Metza.
That'll just about do it, and that'll absolutely do it. Endpoint are going to win the first series. They were 3-1 down. They were looking absolutely lost. Timeout used, lost game 4, but they have won 3 straight, even with a BDS timeout in the middle. Wow. Who thought this wasn't going to be competitive? Endpoint making the run, and what a gauntlet they've ran through. Misfits in the quarters, Karmine Corp in the semis, and they're halfway there against BDS in the final.
Stumpy said that this didn't feel like a purple patch for this team, that he thought this was a brand new look Endpoint that we would see week after week after week. And Johnny, if it stays like this, I cannot wait for it. But this is only half the job done. BDS, the best adaptive team in Europe, I feel like got just outmaneuvered, like tactically in this series. Endpoint just switched everything after 2 games.
It was beautiful. They made that change of just unleashing Seiko, and even in the game where it didn't work, it got them in a bit of trouble. Seiko might have pushed the limit a bit too far, and Metza and Relating Wave didn't back him up enough. They still knew this is the way that we beat BDS. This is the way that we can beat BDS. Let's just let Seiko do his thing and have his back. That's what Relating Wave, again, I've already said this, but it's so important to remember. Relating Wave, not a proud player. He's not a player who's trying to steal the spotlight from his teammates. He's happy to let Seiko go and steal the show. He's happy to let Seiko go and be mechanical and have his back. And some of these fake challenges from Endpoint, some of these, defensive plays where they're not isolating each other, they're pressuring the ball, they're following up 50-50s with quick challenges. I'm so impressed with this team again and again. They're showing us that they can compete with EU's best. We've got one more series from them, and they've got and they've got this whole event in the bag. I don't believe what we're seeing here, but BDS are on the ropes.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm loving every single moment of it. You at home, give a shout to your mate that turned around to you and said, oh, it's BDS in the finals. I'm not going to bother watching. No, let them know that BDS are in for a war in this grand finals. We are going to go to a break. When we come back, it's going to be series number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Rocket League Championship Series. We are on the grand finals of the European Open here in the fall split. I'm Leaf. Beside me is Gibbs, along with Cole, and a smug Stumpy down at the end.
Oh, it feels really good. It really does. The thing is, right, sometimes I'll make silly predictions because it's funny, right? Okay. I fully 100% believed that that could happen. Like, honestly, no doubt in my mind that that was a real possibility. And when it ended up going to 3-1 down in the series, we were all questioning it. It's like, okay, Endpoint, fair enough, you got here. Second place, great chance for your first grand finals. But coming back and then getting 3 games in a row with a dominant 3-1 at the end, I was in love with that series.
Yeah, I ultimately, hey, I told you this, by the way. I said I was going to be flipping by, because I had a sliver of faith there. I at least preempted it, but Cole, I think regardless of our picks, we're all excited to see this match happen.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, at 2-0 down, I was sort of thinking this isn't really going to be Endpoint's turn. They're a team that we said we're going to get better, and maybe BDS, this is one step too early for them to take down Team BDS. But wow, once they had that tactical timeout,
yes,
I asked if it was the best tactical timeout ever. People weren't quite sure, but I certainly think that since they were introduced towards the end of RLCS, that is up there with the best ever. They're standing up, they're doing jumping jacks, they're working out,
yes,
and it's working out for them as well. So credit to Coach Eclipse, because that is a touch of genius just to get them to shake things off.
And there's only 2 teams that are playing like in the team house or facility, and it's these 2 right now, Endpoint and BDS in all of Europe. So Europe, you better start packing your bags, because you guys got to get to these facilities, because tactical timeouts are even better when you're all near each other and can talk it out. It's a lot easier than over a voice call. So Endpoint, huge tactical timeout. They bring it back. They win a series. And BDS in best of set, whenever they lose a series, they lose them both back to back. They have never come back after they lost one. Now, it's only happened twice because there's only been 3 best of sets that they played in, but it's still a stat. So BDS, the tilt factor is there. They are normally not tested. Throughout this whole bracket, they have not been tested. Now it's their first test. Can they bounce back?
Well, we got to start looking forward again because they got one down and they need to get one more if they want to take this crown away. And BDS is going to be, amping it up for sure. We know what this team can persevere through, but we need to know if you guys think they're going to persevere. It's time for the fan vote. Hashtags in the chat, BDS or END. To vote for the team you think is going to pull forward. This one was, I think it was 34 or something percent Endpoint. Mm-hmm. I expect that to go up now, based off what we've just seen. But it is time now for our prediction. I want to see if there's any flippers here. I already preempted it, so I'll get mine out of the way.
Okay, go ahead.
I said I was going to flip if they won it, and I am absolutely flipping on my BDS pick right now.
Now, at the same time with Stumpy, he said if Endpoint's going to win, it's going to be in 3 series. So are you flipping Stumpy to BDS?
I am pushing chat to go for hashtag END. It's going to be in 2. I've got a whiteboard. Shogun told me to get it yesterday. I've just not moved it anywhere, so I thought I might as well use it. Endpoint, they can 100% do this. I said they do it in 3, but I did not expect them to do that well in this first series. I am in love with how this team are holding themselves. I adore the fact that on their cameras, something that I think Corrupted G also pointed out was that they're smiling. When they lose something, they're like, oh, they're smiling, they're laughing. BDS don't do that even when they're winning. Yep. It's different. Endpoint, get it.
I'm going to absolutely swap. Yeah, I have to. They're getting better rematches so far, and BDS, they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Gibbs, your last one.
BDS. I'm staying with BDS. Okay, they are a better team on the field 9 times out of 10. Go BDS.
Stubborn old man. It's 66.
Wow.
Did not expect it to go that intensely. People are ready. So let's get this game rolling. Shogun and Johnny are still waiting over that skybox for this next best of 7. Endpoint holds back the tidal wave of BDS for now, but will the gates hold for much longer? One more best of 7 win and Endpoint will take home the crown for the European Open.
Well. Who would have thought that we would have been in this position? Endpoint battling back from 3-1 down in the previous series to then take the first series overall. And here we go for series number 2. The fans have swapped, the Death seems to have swapped, and BDS will hope that the result will swap as well.
This is just incredible. We're witnessing something that no one expected, well, except Stumpy, but that should tell us how even more ridiculous this is. The fact that you predicted it. So, Endpoint have a chance to do this in 2, but oh, wow, already BDS have scored 7 seconds in. We're about to find out whether those silent faces and those silent BDS players in the timeout, were they tilted or were they just focused on the task at hand?
And that's something that we will find out over the course of this series. Reminder, BDS now need to win 2 best of 7s in a row. Equivalent of coming in from the lower bracket in a double elimination tournament. They've got to try and pull this off. They've got to do it against the run of form. They've lost the last 3 games in a row. And to be honest, the games that were at least close out of those, it was mostly Endpoint's own doing. They definitely made it more difficult themselves. Now off the backboard, double cap. And Metsonaris is going to get us to 1 each.
What season is this? I always miss the Metsa dominance. Season 4, Season 5. I had such a good time watching Rocket League back then, and it feels like we're right back in those years with Metsa on top. It's wonderful to see as a longtime fan of Rocket League and of Metsonaris. Who doesn't like Metsonaris, but also who doesn't like watching him play? This is just unbelievable to find such form in a region that all of the OGs are retiring. Almost all the OGs are retiring or struggling. And all of the young guns are coming up and dominating. Metz is still here, and he is in the best form of his life.
Metsa does not want an RLCS Grand Finals to be his lasting legacy. He always wants to find that little bit extra. And he wants to go ahead and win the European Open on his first try. This new look Endpoint squad. Over to the midfield. Metza up again. That's going to drop down perfectly for Relating Wave. Oh! What shot! Extra could do nothing about it.
Oh, last series, we're seeing shots hit the post, shots to go straight at goalkeepers from Endpoint. Now they're finding the target. They found it consistently at the end of the first series. We're in game 1, and they're right back on it. This is fantastic from Endpoint. BDS again on the back foot. What are they going to do? Because whatever they switched up in game 7 clearly didn't work. I think they went for a more defensive approach, not effective against Endpoint. Are they just going to go completely the other direction, try and bully Endpoint? Do BDS believe in their mechanical ability in this matchup? We're about to find out.
Oh, well, they've managed to beat them on the midfield, and this is where they found the most success. Early in the last series was just getting Endpoint to bite in the midfield and just outpacing them. And Metza, that is a mistake from him. Tried to turn around to get to it and ended up just handing away the lead.
Yeah, underestimating Monkey Moon's recovery time, and also might have thought that he had backup with Relating Wave on the retreat, on the rotation out. Great play by Monkey Moon though. Crushed the challenge, got back in on the ball quickly, slammed it on target. He's been having a good game here. It's 2 goals already for Monkey Moon. He didn't have that many goals in the first series, so this is definitely a promising sign for BDS.
Yeah, it was definitely more Mark leading the charge for BDS in that first series. You get the feeling that, I feel like more often when we see Monkey Moon play well, the whole team plays well, but Mark playing well tends to be Mark playing well. Obviously not too far skewed, but Monkey Moon does seem to be more of the central focus of the team's rotations. And it'll be up to him to try and make Metznaris and Relating Wave's lives as difficult as possible. As off the backboard yet again, Relating Wave wanted to try and get the same sort of shot that Metza did earlier on. That's a key battle for me here, Johnny, is if Seiko's going to be as unleashed as he was in that previous series, it is going to be a big tussle between Monkey Moon and between Metza in that midfield to see who can outpace the other and who can make the right decisions without overcommitting.
My goodness. Extra Monkey Moon more interested in a 3v1 than Monkey Moon looking for an extra in the middle. Interceptions of those central passes from Endpoint have been good start to finish in both the series we've seen here. Oh, missed by Monkey Moon. Metza wasn't ready for it. With how well Monkey's played in this game, I don't blame Metza for failing to read this. Oh, extras first to it as well. Big mistake by Relating Wave. Endpoint have been so consistent. Now they're getting caught out. Monkey Moon with the assist again, just a bit faster to the play than Endpoint were ready for.
It was just so hesitant from Endpoint. Metza, you feel like if you just believed in it, if you're over in that position, you might as well at least give it a go. Just didn't think that there was any world where BDS would end up missing the hit entirely. Oh, underneath, well played by Mark. Pressure still on from Relating Wave, but that's over the top. And this is the sort of situation where we got those very lopsided score lines. This time, Seiko at least able to recover just in time. Endpoint will need to be wary of the long shots. I think you'll agree with me here, Johnny. In the entirety of Europe, nobody hits the ball cleaner than the 3 players on BDS.
Oh, Relating Wave. Testing BDS again. It's not just the Seiko show when it comes to mechanical offensive plays. Metza and Relating Wave really getting involved here. It's really well done by Relating Wave. Lifting the ball into the bar, catching it, taking it to safety, but they need more than that right now, or else they'll trail early in another series. This is exactly what happened at the start of the first series between these 2 teams. Endpoint needed a monstrous comeback, and they're going to need another one. Hat-trick from Monkey Moon, top corner on the open net.
Man, Monkey Moon really is firing on all cylinders here in the second series, although that one, once again, kind of handed off to him. Endpoint have been sloppy here in game 1. Like, they put good pressure on. They look like they're mentally very dialed in, but it's the odd mistakes, the couple of whiffs, the passes into the midfield that are getting them caught out. There's another one. That's just straight over to Monkey Moon. Can he add another one off the backboard? Monkey Moon looking for his 4th pass to extra. That's not going to quite go in. With 30 seconds to turn around a 2-goal deficit. What have Endpoint got as it goes over to Relating Wave? Off the backboard to himself and extra. Yeah, he was already over before he even hit the ball.
Well, it's a bit too quick here. BDS faster, the 2 teams. Looking for those clean out plays on Endpoint. They're not biting on these fake challenges. Endpoint have been really utilizing to great success in this series as well. The set, I should say. We're into the second one now. BDS with an early lead. You know, nobody's going to be doubted Endpoint's ability to come back from this sort of position.
I'm half expecting
anymore.
an Endpoint timeout immediately after how well the last one worked.
Oh, surely not. I think they're going to hold on to it for one more.
It would be pretty banter if they did, but...
Just get up and start stretching again.
It works. And for BDS, whatever they were discussing or lack of discussion between series, they did look very, very good there. And as always, Monkey Moon was the standout player. 3 goals to his name. Just seemed like he was absolutely everywhere this time around. And for BDS, yeah, great start for them.
Yeah, they need their talisman, Monkey Moon, playing like this. It's not right. You know, we never see BDS truly dominating unless Monkey Moon is dominating, and he really did there make himself as effective as possible. It wasn't, you know, quite as close to the top corner in that third goal as I thought it was in the first viewing, but still, an open net is an open net, and Monkey Moon couldn't have started off this series any better. Let's see how Endpoint are going to respond, though. They've not taken a timeout. They are just going to try and right the ship on this one. I'm not surprised, because most of their goals were from... I think, you know, most of the goals they're conceding here were from just not really positioning with their third man as carefully as they should have. We saw that earlier on. I believe it was game 4. They conceded a bunch of easy goals. Game 5, they were able to correct that. So now we're going to really put Endpoint under the microscope. Are they going to make that same fix going into game 2?
Game 2 now underway. Over the Forbidden Temple as Metsunaris, who started off the scoring in this series, looks to try and at least turn provider this time around. A bit careless actually from Monkey Moon, and the shot very tame. Mark Bay happy to see it as Metza. Is he too far forward? That's the danger. That third man always seems like they're just on the cusp of being too far out of position.
It's a good choice by Metza to knock that ball into his crossbar, though. He's got a teammate to go for the second ball, and we saw Seiko in that kind of same position in the first series. Tried to knock it wide, didn't work. Now Seiko, my goodness, he really does just pull goals out of nowhere. It looks like he's got 2 players to go past, and even Extra is not in a bad position, but wow, the timing for Seiko on that flick, ripping it over to Extra the very split second that he moves forward.
That's absolutely fantastic by Seiko. And it is going to give Endpoint a much-needed lead. They do not want to drop down by 2. Yes, they were able to turn it around in the last series, but expect that to be the exception, not the rule. As Monkey Moon crushes the challenge. Nobody around from BDS to turn it in. Marked by 8. Back over to Monkey Moon. High press here by all 3 players over on BDS. But Endpoint, they've proven themselves very resilient in these sort of positions, and that's the challenge that they're after. Seiko, bit of breathing room there for his team, and Endpoint have escaped.
Another chance for Metza. He decides to go for a double touch, but didn't get the recovery that he wanted mid-air there. Couldn't get back to the ball for the shot himself. I actually like that we're not seeing too much of a commitment there from Endpoint. Oh, that should have been more. Marked by 8 from that range. Always a deadly striker, but for once, it's unable to send a rocket on net. Metza reads the bounce downwards, and the BDS defender not able to beat him to it. 2-0.
Mark just seems a little bit shaken in this series. That's 2 shots now that he's had where he just didn't put it on target well enough. That time around, he was just out of boost entirely, so Metza easily beats him to the shot. So Mark, despite looking fantastic in the previous series, not quite finding the shooting accuracy so far. His team's now down by 2. Loads of time to try and at least turn it around, though, as Seiko already up. He's on challenge!
Oh!
And that's number 3!
Seiko too quick with it. Mark unable to get the ball past Relating Wave. Extra was a bit of a gambling position there, trying to read a better 50-50 from Mark. And really unusual to see BDS stuck in no man's land like this, but reminiscent of the Vitality series in the championships, where the ball just went over them more often than they wanted to. But yeah, BDS just need to try and tone it down slightly in defense. I love the aggression that they've got in attack, but committing so far forward with their last man, it's a mistake we saw from Endpoint earlier on as well. And BDS should know better. Now they're in trouble at 3-0 down.
Good Work there by Mark. Get some territory for BDS. And here's the follow from Monkey Moon. Wrong angle, though, to really walk onto the shot. 3 players will go. Endpoint have at least got Relaying Wave to make sure that they secure the ball a little bit. Extra pass 2. He's doing a great job so far of these solo dribbles across the field. The question really has been, though, for BDS is where's the follow-up? What's the plan once you've got the ball into that blue field? And so far, BDS really have not had much of an answer to that question. Monkey Moon wants to go for net. Seiko already around. Followed by Mark by 8. Relaying Wave in position. And Endpoint making this look pretty simple so far. There's a bit more danger, though. And that is what BDS so desperately needed.
BDS back to prioritizing volume of shots, not giving Endpoint a chance to reposition, a chance to grab boost in between saves there. It's one quick shot after another. First of all, Mark, then Monkey Moon on the infield pass to Extra. BDS definitely could use a lot more of that.
One of the rare times they've got the infield pass off without Endpoint being there to meet them. Now just 1 minute 45 left on the clock. What else have BDS got? Have they got 2 more goals in them? Or is it going to be a tied series at 1 each? Extra. Outpaced by Relating Wave. How often do you end up saying that? Monkey Moon taking his time. Boost stolen away from him. It's going to be a much more difficult task, but he's still dancing his way around everybody. Now the pass up. Mark coming in very narrow on the angle, so couldn't quite reach the shot as well as he wanted to. Metza almost got punished for the pre-jump. Wouldn't have been able to control that, but there's a powerful clear. Just over a minute left, Johnny. Endpoint holding on.
This is what Endpoint need to keep doing. Just get the ball moving, keep boosting all 3 of their players, keep recovering as quickly as they can. Make sure to have each other's back on 50-50s. They're doing everything right at the moment and really limiting BDS's options to come back in this series from the 2-goal deficit. BDS, inside the final minute, like they've done in the past, are going to turn that aggression up a notch. Don't be surprised to see heavy commitments from a 3rd man in a play around about now.
Yeah, BDS will not care about conceding a 4th at this point. They just desperately want their 3rd. Over to the corner. There might be a chance for Mark by 8. And suddenly, the danger starts to loom. 1 goal and 33 seconds to grab hold of it.
Yeah, Seiko just not able to get there. I think did he miss the boost in the corner? That looked like a position Endpoint should have had coverage on. Sometimes a simple center ball is all you need. BDS within 1. Plenty time left to fashion a goal scoring opportunity.
2 players needed. Extra wants to try and chase this down. Playing Wave just far too well positioned. Just wait for him to come on in. That's looking to try and get it to himself. Almost found the block. But here's the breakaway. Monkey Moon needs to find something. Couldn't get any purchase on the ball. Final 10 seconds. BDS, final chance at this. Only 12 boost Monkey Moon. So he's going to have to try and find some way get himself back into this. And Endpoint have ended up leaving this for the time being. Related Wave just puts it straight into Extra's car. And Endpoint, well, they never like to make it easy for themselves, do they, in the final minute? But they have got their first game of this series.
Yeah, BDS is trying to play for very simple center balls in this game. Worked once, maybe thinking, okay, why not just get that to go again? But I would have loved to see some more passing out into the middle. You know, really use their ability to fast aerial so consistently in the closing stages here. But they tried to keep it simple in offense, and it just wasn't enough to get past that. Usually, stellar defense from Endpoint, which did let them down for the 2nd goal. Actually, you know, that should have been. I think a covered position for Endpoint. They'll be pretty annoyed. Well, they would have been very annoyed if they let BDS come back like that.
Look at Metza's face. Does Metza look annoyed?
No, they're going to be fine with a win. A win's a win. I'm sure they've forgotten about that 2nd goal they conceded already. But if they, you know, looking back on that, had BDS won this game, that would have definitely been something to complain about for Endpoint.
So 1 each. And that first series, not a flash in the pan. BDS really are in for the battle here as Endpoint stepping up big. Extra looks to turn. It's usually such a great job of finding those angles off just a self-pass from the backboard. This time, though, BDS very aware of it. Mark trying to find something in the midfield. He's got a teammate currently being harassed on the goal line. Seiko, this is where he wants to be. This is where he was so dangerous in that first series. Hasn't been quite so much this time. Endpoint have been scoring off different ways. Definitely not Seiko taking to the air. He's been a lot more effective even on the ground this time around. Well played, even relating wave there. Oh, okay, well, that almost went in, but before then, I feel like there was a very good example there, Johnny, of the lack of respect that Endpoint have been giving to BDS compared to other teams where Relating Wave saw Monkey Moon coming forward and he just left. He realized, I don't need to go for this. Monkey Moon's missing it, and nobody tends to do that. They just think, it's Monkey Moon, he's got this.
Yeah, Monkey Moon is very, very close to that play, and the pass was high and fast, so good read by Relating Wave. Knew there's no need to jump. It's not a threat. BDS could be communicating these passes ahead of time. That high pass, you know, it shouldn't be towards a complete whiff. There should usually be a follow-up on that kind of thing, but BDS like to just go with the flow. They don't rely on communication too much. That's why we see double commits in close quarters at times. They rely on their mechanics to get them back into position after plays like that. Oh, what a center ball to pinch into the middle from Seiko. Proves to be a bit too much for Relating Wave to catch.
BDS doing a great job of at least communicating who's supposed to go for what in the defense. Etza with Seiko in support. Seiko will be brought into this one. Mark Bayer takes his time, realizes Seiko is coming in, and now Mark, we forced to try and recover from elsewhere. Off the backboard, Monkey Moon. Brought into task. Does well with it. Called in yet again. Midfield currently belonging to Endpoint. It's Relating Wave. Called off by Seiko. Was it the wrong shout, though? As Mark by 8 does find his attempt to just snatch the ball away in the midfield, at least partially blocked. Relating Wave off the backboard.
My.
And that's right into the corner.
It's these occasional clears from Endpoint that are forcing BDS to play with a deeper defensive line than they want to play with. BDS are usually
Seiko,
in the half.
Disgusting.
He's going to get boxed out of this play by Monkey Moon, and that's good defense for the recovery. But wait a minute, it still almost enters. As Seiko just rolled right through the ball there. 4 players in the challenge. Yeah, these hard clears every now and then from Endpoint have been key. BDS have to be afraid of that. Now 2 players expecting a hit from each other. Both make a no contact. Metza denied. Only as far as Relating Wave. Difficult balls to follow up on here. Now Seiko with a bit of space. Monkey Moon with a great save. It's into the bar and then into the corner.
What a tense game 3 this is to try and grab hold of the lead of the series. Next goal could be crucial to see how Series 2 goes. Mark by 8, unchallenged. And are you ever going to let him have that? 2 players needed. Mark by 8, refinding his shooting form. What a save that was, just to deny him. Now Monkey Moon up in support, almost not needed. But he just fake out how obvious the infield pass would be. That surely we would never go for that one, but still good pressure from BDS. How on earth are Endpoint keeping this one out of the net? Marked by 8, self-set. He's already got extra in support. That one's too high. Where's Monkey Moon? Takes the shot off the post. And Endpoint have still got their clean sheet, and I have absolutely no idea how.
Relating Wave just made a huge double save moments ago. He had, I think, literally 1 boost, and he still managed to pre-jump to save the second shot. After saving the previous one, I think something like 12 boosts and a high shot to defend against. Amazing stuff from Endpoint, but they've been saved by the crossbar again. BDS will feel like they should have scored there. Oh, they haven't, and now Endpoint have broken free. Are they going to find a gap in the midfield to send that hard clear through?
Right now, they're just trying to outpace Endpoint. Unfortunately, Endpoint's recoveries are too good at the moment. They're always back just in time before the shot comes in. BDS, well, they're controlling the field. They already got rid of 1 player. Seiko decides to take the proactive approach. Doesn't want to be demoed. And somehow, oh, wow. How on earth have we gone to overtime?
Wow. So many chances, mostly for BDS, but no goals. The kickoff goes slightly in their favor. Will Seiko be back for it? Yes, he will. What a save by the youngster.
Now a chance to break away. Endpoint finally get a hold of the ball, at least momentarily. Drop down, Monkey Moon. He's got time, and his shot right into Seiko. You're going to have to find top corners. There's no way you're beating them any other way at this point. That's an awkward drop. 2 players already on the back foot, though, waiting for it. Relating Wave also on the far side. Fantastic communication so far on the defensive side of the field for Endpoint. But BDS, they have to score from this, surely. How would they deal with this if in a game where they had this much pressure, they went on to lose it? They won't even want to entertain that thought at the moment as they keep pressing forward. Another great touch. Seiko not putting a foot wrong in this grand finals.
Yeah, what a huge defensive performance from him. He has been lighting up BDS at the other end of the field. Now, consecutive saves where he's completely alone and having to contend with big-time shooting from BDS, who have actually done a pretty good job in this last game. Oh, it's a big chance. Metsonaris, top corner!
No way!
Endpoint, take it!
Metsonaris steals this game from BDS. I don't know how. I have no idea how. And BDS will have even less of an idea. They were on it. They had done everything but score in the other side of the field. And yet one chance falls to Endpoint and they take it. Johnny, from a team that the primary concern in the first 2 games was shooting accuracy, they are not letting chances go to waste anymore.
This is something else. We're actually seeing BDS lose games. This is exactly what a game looks like when BDS win. We're talking about it in the game. The games like this, where BDS have their opponents on the ropes, eventually they score. We even saw it in Forbidden Temple. Usually these pressure plays result in a BDS goal. Not this time. Not against Endpoint. What an unbelievable defensive stand. They've covered the backboard. They've covered the infield passes. They've had the saves in 1v1 plays. I just can't. I don't think words can describe how impressive Endpoint look in this event. BDS did their thing there. They did what BDS are supposed to do, and Endpoint are still taking the game. They're 2 games away from winning the entire event and getting that crucial top points in the leaderboard in a region that looks to be completely open right now when we're talking about who's going to the major at the end of this split.
I asked you and the rest of the pre-show panel, Johnny, to... Oh, wait, no.
What a read.
That's okay, just off the post. The Endpoint post, definitely the right-hand side one, not quite able to interact with that one. I asked you guys who you thought would be representing top 5 of Europe. I don't believe there was even a thought on Endpoint at the time.
No, they had I think the nightmare run. Misfits in the quarters. I still think Misfits are going to be one of the teams taking on everybody for those top 5 spots at the end of this split. I rate them as well, and that just makes Endpoint's run here all the more impressive. Taking down Carmine Corp as well in Game 7. Now they're going completely toe-to-toe and beating BDS. If you talk about the last, what is it now, 6 games, Endpoint have won 5 of them? That's just unbelievable.
They have been all over them. Here is Metza, takes the first time shot. Monkey Moon already there to block it, but it was 1 year ago that BDS went from talented roster that we expected big things from to European dominating giants. Endpoint could very well be the same story of a team that we didn't expect to be as good as they end up being. That'll be a story to try and figure out for another time. Metza, relating Wave, I should say. I don't think he was quite expecting to even get the chance at it, but still would have wanted that one in.
No, he did not think that he was shooting there. He thought that was going to be a 50-50, so he leaned back and played a safe challenge. And the BDS defenders missed the ball, so it would have been open for Lightweight, but of course he doesn't know that, and he shouldn't be gambling on a whiff, of course, under these circumstances. BDS didn't play badly at all in the last game. Don't think they had any misses that I can remember, so you can't really anticipate that open net if you're in Relating Wave's position.
This is not a series where flip resets and overly flashy plays have been king.
Wow.
This is the nitty-gritty that you need.
What?
This is the challenges that get those. Metza follows. And instead, I think he decided to put that one wide. Did not want to just hand off an easy recovery there for BDS. This time it's Endpoint's turn to be a little bit frustrated with the lack of goals.
Yeah, Endpoint definitely should have a goal, or at least, test the goalkeeper at this point. They have had some great pressure plays. Timely demo on that last one. Absolutely perfectly done. Double touch from Monkey off the ceiling. Relating Wave to
There was a
Metsonoris.
mark in the goal.
Passing in defense
Of course
here
it was.
from Endpoint. Yeah, of course Mark Bates in the goal. Doesn't even need to be said, Shogun. He's always going to be in the most aggressive place possible. 2 minutes left extra. Deflects another Endpoint attack into the corner. Sends it long himself. Seiko takes control off the back wall. See, they're mixing it up. It's not always a hard clear from these positions. They are taking control when space is given to them. Endpoint, the unpredictable.
This is what the main point of frustration is going to be for BDS, is that we're not coming out of these games and saying, oh, BDS are doing this, that, or anything else wrong. BDS are playing their game, and they're not getting the results for it. And that will be so much more frustrating than knowing exactly what has gone wrong for them so far. Obviously, still very much in this. 1-goal games, both teams clawing for every single inch of the field. Relating Wave, he's managed to get past one. Has he got the opportunity to get past number 2? It was always going to be a little bit too much to ask, as we are with just over a minute left. And it's another game where the first goal could very well be the deciding goal.
Oh!
He puts it too high. And another situation where Mark was too far forward to take a shot.
Oh my goodness!
How on earth
What?
has Seiko got this room? Where were BDS?
Monkey Moon half flips away from the plate, leaves it for the defender. An extra didn't guess right. He thought that he needed to be on the other side of the ball. He was covered in the near post. Seiko shoots towards the center of the net. And Endpoint are winning again. What a read by Seiko. They have been winning the mind game battle here. And now here comes Monkey Moon. Relating Wave has the whole back wall covered. You're going to need to look somewhere else to get past this guy. Less than 45 seconds now for BDS. They're going to be trailing by 2, just like Endpoint were in the first series.
Off the wall. Extra, not winning the chance the way he wanted to, but marked by 8. Over to Extra. And I think he might have wanted that one back to Monkey Moon, who was coming through the middle of the field. Monkey Moon's first touch, not great. Relating Wave accidentally combining with a BDS player to push the ball to his own side of the field. Gonna at least give BDS an opportunity here. 15 seconds left. It's all the way out to Mark. Goes off the backboard. Good touch from Metza. Relating Wave dives in from the midfield. Now straight out to Extra. They try to pass it between them. Over to Monkey Moon. It's 3-4. Have they still got this one going? Seiko sees the acrobatics. He doesn't care anymore. He's happy just to get rid of that. One more opportunity for BDS, but Relating Wave takes it away.
I can't believe Metsonoris on the backboard there, just doing a little forward and backwards motions. Oh, that's open actually. Extra getting around it. No! He can't quite get around it. BDS creating shots out of nothing here at the tail end of the game. Seiko doesn't have boost. He can't get that. Monkey looking to keep it up. It's denied by Metsonoris. Endpoint with a bit of a scare at the end there. Hold on to take a 3-1 lead. And once again, they are the team who have taken 3 straight games in this matchup. Triple tournament point for Endpoint. I can't believe I've just said this.
You mind saying that again for me, Johnny? I just got to try and confirm in my head.
Triple tournament point for Endpoint. They got 3 shots at this. And now, I mean, even when BDS are losing 2-1 in this series, you can still, I think, create a case for them being the favorites because it's BDS. You know, they always come back. Surely it's not Vitality in the championships. BDS don't look like they're falling apart like they were in that matchup. They played a good game 3, but no, Endpoint, and now they have 3 chances. Heavy favorites. I think no one can argue now. It's theirs to lose against BDS.
No timeout used by BDS. They did not like how the last one went for them heading into Champions Field in the first series. They are not going to try and burn it this time around. Endpoint have still got access to theirs, even if they start losing matches here. We saw how effective the last one was, but here's Seiko, who could go from somebody that wasn't even involved in the RLCS 4 months ago, and on his first attempt will win a tournament. What a story that would be. But he's got to get one more win under his belt.
And Seiko just looks like the absolute definition of composure in this one. Had some pretty nervy moments early on in this set, but now he has been so consistent, not just in attack, creating chances, creating goals, but making saves as well. Oh, that's actually another one. That is going to actually mind game March.
Okay, there we go.
You know, Seiko did save this initially, deflecting the ball into the crossbar. Relating Wave panicked, thought Mark would make contact. Mark thought likewise about relating wave. Monkey there to clean it up, but BDS are going to need to, I think, do just that. Clean up their act, because they need to play the best Rocket League they've played if they're going to come back from this.
Let's just set the stage here. BDS have got to win 3 in a row and then win another series on top of that. It is unbelievable what they have got to do and the situation that Endpoint have managed to put them in. They were able to respond quite early over in the Champions Field game when they saw themselves go a goal down. So we know that this sort of pressure isn't going to get to them. Can they get that goal back nice and quick this time around? Last few games have been all 1-0. Power shot. Seiko tried to find a block. It was always a bit hopeful. Mark down the field. Extra takes his time, looking for the backboard, and Metza just guides it to the far side of the field once again. BDS, I mean, it's such a long road, Johnny.
Yeah, it is.
I'm still dumbfounded by the situation we find ourselves in, but BDS, they are the team that can't afford to be. As that shot marked by 8, he's been so close in this series, but he's still not quite found the accuracy.
Well, BDS, they now know that nothing but the best will get past Endpoint. They've never had such a struggle scoring on their opponents. Even in series and even in tournaments they've lost in the past year, it's not usually a struggle to score that's their problem. The other team will just sometimes get the better of them in the midfield or pressure BDS. Maybe BDS are making some misplays. Look at Endpoint just handling the pressure, the BDS offense like no one else has ever been able to do in the past. So now Monkeyman runs into the play. Just coincidentally, Mark able to usher the ball clear. It really just feels like Endpoint have given themselves, I mean, they have given themselves so many chances, but the way that they play, they have really solidified and improved throughout this, both these series. They're getting better and better. BDS have stagnated. And do BDS have that extra level to go to? It's hard to find that extra gear when you've been playing such a high level for such a long time.
Metza wiped out, but there's still another player there. Seiko almost able to find the equalizer. I do agree with you there, Johnny. The narrative has changed a lot throughout this series. In the first few games, we were saying, oh, there might be a chance for a second. We were saying that Endpoint had to make the most of the 1 or 2 chances that we were seeing them getting. This is not 1 or 2 chances anymore. They have been much more effective with the creativity. Well, there's a fantastic example of it. Just trying different things. BDS, though, it feels like this is something that they haven't seen before, because we got to see them in this position so many times last season against Vitality, against Vodafone Giants. Oh, what a shot! There's the 2-goal lead.
It's still BDS.
It is still BDS.
It is still BDS. It might be triple match point Endpoint, triple tournament point Endpoint, but it's still BDS to the other side of the field. You can never count them out. And now they've got a 2-goal lead, so this surely will be their game with less than 90 seconds to play. But Endpoint will not be bothered by this. If we've learned anything from being able to watch in behind the scenes in the face cams, they are not going to be tilted.
Take a look again. I want to see if even in this position they're still smiling.
I still relating wave all smiles after missing the ball on BDS first goal. You know, they're not going to be bothered by this. It's BDS who look like they've underestimated their opponents today, and they're not happy with how this series is going. Obviously, not happy with how they've played, I'm sure as well. But can they still produce the results? Because as we know, getting that last win can prove to be difficult, and Endpoint unable to do it on the first time of asking at this rate.
Difficult on the first time of asking just in the series, let alone in your first tournament. Yeah, it does very well look like Endpoint might get their opportunity to do so. Right now, though, they've got to beat BDS in one more game, a team that made a habit out of 4-0ing grand finals last season. Breaking teams. Endpoint, despite going 3-1 down, despite getting smashed in that 4th game, they weren't broken. They will be very resilient, even if BDS starts to make the comeback, but it looks like this game is done for them. Can BDS pull off what Endpoint did in the previous series? Step 1 done, 2 more to go.
Oh my goodness, what is this script? What is happening right now? BDS on the comeback. still Endpoint with 2 chances. But now, you know, if they've got a throwaway game, if they're going to surprise BDS with any kind of strategy, now's the time to do it. And they have, unsurprisingly, called a timeout. They're going to try and come up with something to get this win. At the moment. Of course, there it is, the stretches. I love that. I think this is such a good idea.
Who wants them from the coffee shop? Let's go and take a walk.
Take notes.
You know what? So what I like even more than this getting up is like doing it now. Don't save it ahead of game 7.
Yeah.
Do it now before it starts getting a little bit too tight. I feel like that's a mistake we've seen happen an awful lot previously. But don't put yourself in that situation where you've now got a whole group of players that are all thinking about that game 7, no matter what you say as a coach. You know, that's where their mindset is going to be. So Endpoint burning their timeout. I'll remind you yet again, BDS have still got theirs. Highly doubt we are going to see it. But if they really want to put that pressure on Endpoint, they win this, call the timeout, and make them just stew there for a solid couple of minutes. Either way, Neo Tokyo is the next field. Endpoint's favorite post is back on the field. Can it help them towards a championship?
So, you know, I'm starting to think now, I wonder if BDS didn't call a timeout because they saw how Endpoint were able to use the last one. BDS clearly just want to get into the next game. They want to get this started.
I mean, haven't Endpoint won both games now post timeout?
This would be
grand finals. They won.
Yeah,
game
they took the last
3.
one as well. Yeah, so they took they won after their timeout and BDS timeout in the first set. BDS have not called the timeout yet. Now Endpoint have. So I'm really curious to see what they've done here. But I really like the separation that they've given themselves here. Just a bit of a moment to just release the tension. It's such a high pressure situation, especially now with a LAN at the end of the split to look forward to, the first one in 2 years, and Europe being so tough to even imagine making 3 top 8s. I don't think I was having a chat with Gibbs before the series started. You know, how many of you guys actually would say that Endpoint are guaranteed top 8 in the next 2 regionals? I'm not sure if I would, but that's not because I don't expect them to be competitive and I expect them to play at high level. It's because I expect so many other teams in Europe to also play at such a high level. So this is massive. If Endpoint can lock in full points in this event, I think that at that point we can start putting them in that list for top 5, no matter what. Seiko with an early opportunity, tight angle, makes the work. What a save marked by it, pinches it off the inside of his post. Huge play for BDS.
Well, to your point, Johnny, yes, top 8 is so difficult, and we do highly recommend that you hit that follow button and join us next Friday when we get back to it all over again over with the North American region. But for right now, championship on the line. BDS have got to win 2 games in a row, and they're doing it now off the timeout called by Endpoint. Extra off the ceiling, off the backboard, up goes Monkey Moon. Everybody ended up missing it. 3 players gone, no contact, but now Seiko to the other side of the field. It pops back out, Relating Wave wants to find the block. That's going to bounce very awkwardly. Metanaris just going to get a soft touch, get everyone in his team back in position, as is his job, but what a shot that is. Both teams hitting the ball so clean as it goes whizzing past Relating Wave.
BDS now on the counter. Monkey Moon going to try and center this. Great touch into the middle. I don't know how Monkey Moon's managed to control this from such an awkward position, but that's just what you can expect with such class on the field today. Relating Wave calls Extra's bluff on the challenge. Extra still able to deflect his shot into the corner. Tension absolutely at its highest point now.
I think that's a great way to describe this entire series, Johnny. It has not been explosions all the time. It's just been, where is that bit of brilliance going to come from?
Who would you take your pick? Who would you put your money on right now?
I want to see a game 7. I'm going to go... I'm going Extra.
I like that pick, actually. I like that pick. Extra did pretty well in his one save that he's had to make this game.
Sorry, Endpoint fans. It's not allowed to happen easily.
Yeah, if it's Endpoint, you got to think it must be Seiko. The rookie already getting aggressive in the goal line, but it's Mark on the counter-attack. Great challenge by Relating Wave, disguising his approach behind the ball. Mark couldn't see him coming. Couldn't be sure that the challenge was coming towards him. Oh, not a good touch by Monkey Moon. Relating Wave pops it middle, but Endpoint sitting deep. They're actually giving BDS space to counter with. And now a miss. Monkey Moon follows up in his own clear. 1-0 BDS. And it was a whiff from Metanaris. Didn't get the overhead clear. And Monkey Moon Didn't need any help with the finish.
And when the pressure is on the most, the talisman needed to shine. And Monkey Moon has done exactly that. Half the game left to go. 1 goal up for BDS. They look to try and send us over to Champions Field, but this time Metznaris is far too quick. Whoa! And Seiko has got 1 each.
What a play by Seiko. Beats the first man to the 1 ball after the kickoff, and then as fast as you like out into the middle to read that bounce coming downwards. 1-1, half the game to go. Endpoint have been posturing aggressively, but BDS still look comfortable. Not many mistakes from them. Big time challenge there from Metza. Extra shot. Oh, the bump and save! Save from Metza. Still got more work to do, and he does it. Metznaris again. Has to do so much in that exchange, and he does it all.
Massive demo onto Extra as well. Just got rid of a couple of orange cars. Allowed BDS. Well, at least a little bit of time away from BDS's offense. Extra now in the backfield. Oh, that's a shot on target. Monkey Moon had to be aware, and a booming clear. Just scuffs the top of the ceiling, and that's fantastic pressure now for BDS. Relating Wave ends up missing it. Monkey Moon drops it. Extra does not want to go. Fantastic read from him. I think that would have been him caught. Who's going to be first to this? Seiko wants his second. Metza now drops it. Who's he got in support? Nobody around. Across the field and marked by 8, looking for the backboard, but there's Relating Wave. No fear whatsoever. Didn't even want to wait for the half volley. Monkey Moon to the corner.
BDS again on the back foot for so long. Not for the first time in this set. But they've got the pace, they've got boost control, so they are not in a world of trouble here by any means. Can Endpoint pick their options wisely? Can they say no to those tasty-looking third men commits that BDS are looking to punish? Seiko playing with such confidence right now. Full faith in the speed that he has got as a player now. Metza needs to double this and will. Seiko's bumped off the corner wall by Mark, who has recovered in. Back into the rotation. 40 seconds left, still tied up.
Far side, Extra steals the 100 boost. Seiko, good challenge though. He's got it back into the midfield. Where's the follow? Seiko just putting some tame pressure on. Didn't want to overcommit, but there's the demo. Relating Wave for the double tap. And Monkey Moon held well from the backboard.
25 seconds left. 1 goal. It's all Endpoint need to win this entire event. BDS haven't given them that many clean opportunities. In fact, it's BDS pressing late in the game.
Metza doesn't find a second touch. Seiko takes the long shot to a little bit of a hopeful one from that position, but you'll take them at this sort of crunch time in the series. All the way up. Seiko keeps the ball alive. He wants this done here now, but it's overtime. Goal for Endpoint would crown them European Open champions.
First chance for Relating Wave. He's got Metza in field. It's going to be challenged by Monkey Moon. Metza sits back, waits for the touch. The fake challenge is still doing work for Endpoint.
Seiko is everywhere right now. As there's the infield Extra. Just goes flying straight past it. Seiko takes control, marked by 8. Will reach it nice and early. Off the backboard, who's there? There's 2 players from BDS. Neither of them wanted to go. Metza, solid challenge over to the corner.
Yeah, great read by Relating Wave. It was wise for BDS to decline the invitation that infield pass presented. That extra tight turn. Gonna leave it for Mark by 8. Good early call to bring Mark into the position. Both teams waiting for that one mistake or that one opportunity to win it all.
I'm having to do commentary right now with my head in my hands. Just the muffled commentary. You'll know exactly why. Minute done here. Far side, Relating Wave can turn. Back to the midfield. Nobody on Endpoint wants to try and even risk that, but there's Seiko. Monkey Moon has to avoid Relating Wave. Here's Metznaris holding his ground in that midfield. Now off the backboard yet again. Monkey Moon, solid clear. But it's still pressure. That's on target. Monkey Moon. Fantastic reaction speed. Keeps it out. Now Extra off the backboard. BDS another one's holding on.
Well, that looked like it could be it, but Monkey Moon, again, the player to keep BDS in this. He's had a great second series here compared to the first, but still Endpoint, the team with the advantage. And they have been on the front foot in Game 6. Another chance. Metsunara sits it wide. Relaying wave with the follow-up. Extra stands strong in the way.
Almost 2 minutes down now, and a lot of it has been endpoint pressure. Off the backboard, marked by 8. Trying to just bait in Metza's challenge, but you don't beat Metza in those sort of positions. Monkey Moon out air dribbles everybody, marked by 8. Far side, no follow-up available. Metsunara instantly puts that pressure back on. That ball will not leave the orange side of the field. Finally, Monkey Moon able to outpace.
The 50-50s have been key for Endpoint, staying goal side on every single play. They do not want to give BDS a free goal, well, ever, but especially not now. But hold on, that might be on target. Seiko going to guide it into the corner. Metza taking charge. Doesn't want to let the ball center. BDS waiting to attack if it does. Relating wave. Keeping that ball again away from the center, away from the net.
Well, Endpoint, their first time really being tested defensively. They did do well. That's going to be wide, but Metza's got to play this smart. He's got to keep it away from the orange cars. He's done exactly that. Now drops the ball over to the relating wave. It's a very clear line in the sand here. Both teams very much not wanting to send multiple players beyond the halfway line.
Oh, well played.
2 extra! Right at Seiko, who happily palms the ball away from the net. Follow-up from Monkey Moon. It's very quickly read by the Endpoint defense, and they have got away with it over to the other side of the field.
Yeah, best play of overtime there for BDS. Phenomenal passing, but the shot denied by Seiko. Now Monkey Moon with the reset. He makes the play! We go to game 7 again. Monkey Moon does it all himself. What a finish. Seiko had most of the net covered, and not the bottom left. And that's where Monkey Moon goes. BDS are not done.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal from both teams. What a show we are getting. And here's the thing, Johnny. If BDS somehow do this, if they win their 3rd game in a row here, we will have a 3rd series out of them. Seiko, 10 shots to his name. He so wanted to grab that championship here. But Monkey Moon proves that he is still the MVP of Europe. And he comes up clutch with the goal.
Yeah, standout performance for Monkey Moon there, not just because of the winning goal, but I think BDS definitely deserved that overtime after the passing play they attempted right before that. That was definitely the best attempt before the winning goal, of course. And I'm waiting to see that kind of thing from Endpoint. Obviously, they're not the team who wanted to take those risks, apparently. It's BDS who have to do it, but well done there by BDS. A disciplined performance. And Monkey Moon, once again, stand out in a lobby full of absolute legends.
BDS fans, Endpoint fans. Firstly, I'm so happy for you guys that you're going to be a part of this Grand Finals, but I feel so sorry for you that you've got to go through this Grand Finals. Everyone else out there, we are in for another 5 glorious minutes of Rocket League. Once again, if Endpoint win this, they take the European Open. If BDS do it, we go for another best of 7.
I mean, at this point, I think another best of 7 is... It has to be the more likely of the 2 outcomes. It's BDS who are on a roll now, 2 games in a row. They've really played a lower risk strategy compared to what we saw before. Trying to, I think, wait for the chances to come a bit more than they usually do. They're such a brute force team, such an aggressive team. And that is good enough to beat 99.9% of opponents who just crumble under the pressure. Endpoint have defended so well. BDS have had to switch it up, and that is so rare to see.
What's it going to take? A mistake? Some brilliance? We don't know. But we are going to find out very soon. Seiko has gone very shooting heavy over the last 10 minutes. Here's Relating Wave with the chance. What a save by Mark Baye. Metznaris couldn't keep the pressure on. Couldn't quite trap the ball between himself and the backboards. First real attempt there by Endpoint, and it was not far off.
Well, they got 6 saves in the first minute there for BDS, 4 for Mark by 8. And now here they've got a chance to the other end. It's Monkey Moon, and he scores it. They only needed 1 goal, and it's paid off.
You can see Metza, he tries to just get some way back. But there's Monkey Moon, exactly where he has to be. And BDS.
What a pass.
I mean, they're doing such a good job of not only soaking up the pressure, but they're getting to the other side of the field so well. A different side of BDS here, where it's not just constant pressure, but dealing with that pressure and then finding chances on the counter.
Monkey Moon might go for this. Actually, he decides to come down into the midfield. He's really expecting him to take to the air there with this scoring spree that he's on. Pressure on Endpoint. They'll look at this as 2 wasted opportunities, and now potentially a third. It's not often you get a tournament point against BDS. They're on their 3rd one.
They go off the backboard. What's he thinking at the moment? So close to that tournament victory. What would the whole team be thinking if they end up losing this? How would they bounce back? They will not be entertaining those thoughts for now. Be thinking, what have they got to do? Take this championship within the next 3 minutes. Shot from Metza. Putting some temporary pressure on. Half the game gone now, relating wave. Doesn't find the block. Monkey Moon has just come into his own when the pressure has really been on BDS. He has been formed into a diamond on the field. And it's up to Endpoint to figuring out how on earth they can stop him from being as devastating as he has been for the past few games.
I'm not sure Extra knew what he was doing there, but it worked out. Great reflexes with the chain resets on the ball. Just over 2 minutes for Endpoint in the hunt for a goal. They're spreading out well in their own half. It's been difficult for BDS to clear the ball over the whole Endpoint roster. BDS have already got that goal, and now Extra. Look for the second one. It's defended well by Metsonoris. So often we're seeing that today. Oh, but that's not a good idea for Endpoint. Marked by 8 centers. It's coming to the middle, but no one's there. It's a massive let off there for Endpoint. Looks like Mark expected a follow-up from a teammate.
Great hit by Mark by 8. Straight back into the midfield. And here's where the clock becomes Endpoint's least favorite thing. Relating wave. He's gone for the backboard. Has he got this? It's just underneath him. There's Seiko! It's not fast and it needs to be! Seiko has got us back to a tied game!
All eyes on Wave. Extra expected the second touch. And there wasn't one. Seiko follows up and sends the ball into the goal. I mean, those are easy open nets to miss. He had a long time to think about that one. But he's put it in. And we might be, can you believe it, headed towards another overtime. It's a bit away yet, but we've not had many goals. Both teams sitting deep and waiting for those opportunities to come. That's a great choice by Extra to stick around in the play. Safe 50-50 as well to keep Endpoint at bay.
Turn around. Metsonoris was not willing to take on that 1v1. Just dive straight in on Extra. 1 minute left. Marked by 8. Looked for the pinch. Couldn't quite find it. Relating wave to Seiko, who will go over the top. Very, very split-second reactions by Mark. Able to keep it out. Keeps it at 1 each.
Yeah, Seiko looking like the quickest player right now.
Looks like the hungriest player right now. He wants this.
Yeah, just get the ball to that young man and let's see what he can do. Well, you're wondering, for BDS, where's Monkey Moon? Is he going to have another big moment? Extra deflects the ball into his own crossbar. Monkey Moon looking to guide it into the corner, but Seiko 1 step ahead, stealing the boost away. Solid 50s by Monkey Moon. Buying his team so much time. Now, they might have the last attack of the game. It's high over Monkey Moon, though. He has to settle for clear ball. Now Seiko down. Metsonoris! Oh! The shot goes too low. They didn't have a bounce to play with. It is going to be overtime.
Well, that would have been something special right there. Instead, we merely get 1 goal to decide it all. All the way back out. Mark by 8 takes his time, leaves it for Monkey Moon. That's a great first touch.
Oh, well played.
Seiko as well. Can he outplay the entire team? It's off the backboard. And everybody was needed to stop Monkey Moon. Now Extra to himself on the backboard. What a shot that is, but Seiko was aware of it.
Monkey Moon wants to keep the pressure on Endpoint, but Metsonoris is ready for it. Marked by 8. Very nice touch to the side, avoiding the dunk. But again, Metsonoris is first on the scene. Seiko with a bit of space to play with. Extra closes the distance, doesn't want to give him time to land on the ball and make matters worse for BDS.
Seiko takes his time. Waits to just lever it across the field. Monkey Moon somehow able to find the block. And Endpoint, I don't know how they have got the courage to do this, but they are waiting their turn. They are letting BDS come over to them and find their chance. The infield might be available instead. Relating Wave, put that right on net.
Yeah, I would have liked to see an infield there as well, but it's so scary to infield to your third man against BDS when you're one goal away from winning the entire event. And BDS have been the team on a bit of a hot streak. It's downfield. Mark's already demoed the third man. He's got extra in the middle. Plays for the mind game. Relating Wave straight through the ball.
Relating Wave does not play those games. Marked by 8. Straight over to his teammate. Relating Wave gets rid of 1. It's going to drop down to him as well. Marked by 8 already available.
Panic stations for BDS, but they are going to transition with ease once again. Who's willing to take that risk? Passes have been only safe ones for a good while now. Monkey spawning after the demo. Collect the next possession. Huge 50-50s from BDS, but that's not necessarily a good thing. The ball goes harmlessly towards Metsunoris. The Mark's demos do not connect on the following play.
Putting some pressure now on Metza, the veteran. On demo. Gonna leave Relating Wave a little bit more time without Monkey Moon trying to attack him. Only 5 boosts. BDS starting to find some advantages here. But Meta's challenges are an advantage all in their own. Relating Wave, good clear. We go to the orange side.
Again, that hard clear for Endpoint. They're just mixing it in there. Buying themselves a bit of time. And now Metsunoris pass 2. Marked by 8 needs to be the one to stall in the position. And he doesn't do so. Relating Wave scores! Endpoint have done it!
Endpoint are your European Open champions. And it's Relating Wave to finish it off. BDS are beaten 2-0. And Endpoint have held on. Johnny boy, that was fantastic. What a series. What a grand finals.